kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, you're all prepped, Chris.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
You're a professional. You know, I doubted it until this moment, but...
Well, you know, you never really take note of how much effort, you know, you're like, no, I'm just being rude. I just want to start us off on a horrible, hostile tone now that we're back.
Yeah. Who would we be if we didn't start that way?
But the idea that you're surprised
I'm
is
not
surprising
actually...
to
Okay,
me.
you know what? It often seems like you go through life as a freeloader.
I
mean like
will
a free
literally drive
spirit?
over to your house.
Freeloader is quite a word. It's a little charge.
And it's not something I'm saying, it's just what everyone gossips about you, Chris. I would never...
Well, if this were Persona 2, we could make it true.
My dear freeloader friend Chris of being a freeloader. What was that, Miranda?
Oh, I said if this were Persona 2, we could make it true. Rumors come true in Persona 2. That's how Hitler comes back.
I like how much that rhymes.
Rumors come true in Persona 2. They'll never remake it, probably because Hitler's in it.
Did you see that I gave myself, because I felt like I had nicknames for both of you. So
Edling, that was you? That was your choice?
That was my choice.
That's so cute.
You inconsistently applied it throughout the document, though.
Oh, really?
It's okay. I think that's okay.
Like, we're both Quicks and Emberb throughout the entire thing, but you were like, I'll just be Edling once.
I think I show up as Miranda at least once or twice, and that is also fine. I, literally don't care.
Or Burb.
But,
I think you're Burb.
Or Burb. Yep, there's a Burb, there's a Chris, there's a Miranda. You know, it's like when someone has multiple pronouns, the thing to do is to try to use...
You rotate through.
Yeah, you don't want to just...
That's real. That's real.
Did I ever show you the clip? And I know we'll get to it, but there was a guy doing Gen Z Seinfeld, and it was Costanza comes in and he's like, I guess people call him George. I don't know what people call him. I have
seen this.
And he's like, I went to a thing. They gave me a name tag, and I write your name and pronouns. I wrote any all. You know what this man did? He himmed me. He himmed me. I gave him a buffet to choose from.
And he himmed me.
He himmed me.
That's so fucking good. It's so good. I gave him a buffet. That's an amazing one.
Right?
We're actually also coming back after a long spring break.
That's true. Spring break!
Spring break.
Should we go around and share what we did on spring break?
No.
Oh, okay.
You guys did stuff?
I applied to jobs.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
That's not what spring break is for.
You should have done it from the beach.
That's
I went on a little tour with my ABBA cover bands.
Wow.
That's what I got into. Yeah, I know. It's fun.
That's not spring break either. Actually, ABBA's that's pretty spring-like. So
it's pretty spring. They have some springy songs. Yeah, shit. I don't think they mention the weather at all in any of the songs that I know.
Do they mention the moon
think of a
cycles?
single
Because
one.
Waterloo.
No.
The sun was shining. Dooby-doo.
Doo-doo-doo. Waterloo. The sun was shining on you. Waterloo.
Chris, your cover story was that you were on Abattoir. Are you ready to actually share what you were doing?
Abattoir, which sounds a lot like abattoir.
Yeah.
You were actually promoting Anidorks, or you were yerking people? Not quite sure.
It can be both.
It could be both.
It was all consensual yerking. I went to a couple. It was get a tattoo, get a yerk combo deal at this one place. Yeah. It was cute. It was very nice.
They're getting your tattoo, they just drop a yerk in?
No. You get the yerk done first so the yerk feels the pain.
Pain, yeah. You get to hang out in the back of your brain watching cartoons while the yerk gets your tattoo. It's great.
Yeah, the one thing is just like that Family Guy sketch, he only gives Kermit the Frogs because yerks only want Kermit the Frogs.
I don't know that. Is it misleading to say that you no longer feel pain once you're yerked? Because I believe that you still feel pain.
I don't think you feel pain.
I mean, I think you can check out from it.
Really?
Yeah, I think you can.
I think if you're fighting for control of your body, you probably feel the pain.
I have not felt pain this entire time. So,
what about when you're late to the yerk pool
No, I mean,
No, you're
like, I'm
hungry. You're tired. Yeah.
Like, but I wouldn't describe.
Because you don't get
like,
hunger pangs. They're more like hunger.
No, there's just like you just
Just
want
brain
it.
fog. Yeah.
Yeah, you just want it.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And then you have some oatmeal instead.
Survivor.
It's
If
like
you go on Survivor, that makes it a little bit tricky with the whole.
the Kendrona?
Yeah.
No. You're allowed to bring your prescription Kendrona because you just have to tell the med team beforehand.
Or
and you're
the
allowed to
well.
have that.
Is the well also? Does it double as a year pool?
Oh,
well?
they just drop you in the well.
That's just a well.
That's what
You
Rome
just get
was
to-
doing.
You just get to bring Kendrona. Like, it's just, it's
Okay,
just
well,
fine.
that's-
They just limit you to the bare minimum so that you're on like an equal playing field with everybody else, probably.
Yeah, but like, whatever.
Okay.
God, Yerks have to eat twice. They have to like go do the Kendrona thing and then
then
get out
feed
of the
their
Yerk pool,
human
and they're
body.
Like, God, I'm starving.
Yeah.
Oh. And then they go to McDonald's and they're like, Kendrona, I mean milkshake, please.
And they have one.
Happy meal with extra happy.
With extra happy, yeah. All right, are we ready to start?
I think we're ready.
Yeah, so we're doing Megamorphs 2 in the time of dinosaurs?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the weirdest subtitle of a book. It's Megamorphs 2, We Missed You. It's weird. Just a really
I
weird
thought you were
title
go
for a
with
book.
Electric Boogaloo.
No, you would think. But that's actually what Megamorphs 1 was titled.
On a
that's
scale
right.
of 1 to 5 dinosaurs, how would you rate?
I would give it 7 chunks of Darlene.
I was
That's
going to say
regular
there
scale.
were at least 5 dinosaurs, so I have to give it 5 dinosaurs.
There were a ton of dinosaurs.
Ton of
It's true.
dinosaurs. Actually,
A lot.
to be discussed. Too many dinosaurs?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I'm just introducing controversy. So
You sure are.
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5. I'll give it 5 Triceratops out of 5.
That's
okay.
that's such a cowardly
Dinosaur
That's such a
choice?
cowardly thing to say. Yeah, like 5 out of 5. Like what? You're afraid to say anything controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, I said 5, but I was just basing it on you said out of 5 dinosaurs, and I was like, well, there's definitely that many dinosaurs.
Yes, that's true. At least 5. And you know what?
guys-
Only dinosaurs. I thought maybe they'd go back in time and they'd see something else besides dinosaurs, but no.
They do mention a couple small creatures running around. They do. They do.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to read the book again.
Yeah, you should. Did you just read the jacket again and say, I got this? I can just riff on
this
it.
one's
absorbed
extra
the book.
long.
It's something I'm
Holy
trying.
howdy, you're in for some surprises.
Okay.
There's definitely some twists and turns.
Yeah,
in this.
I mean, it was just a picture of dinosaurs on the front, so.
Yeah. Well, Ed, since you didn't read the book, why don't you use all 3 sentences to describe it
I do want to say,
in
just
our 3-sentence summary?
before you do that, there are no dinosaurs on the cover of this book. It's just their eyes in a mishmash of animal thing,
Now,
patterns. But
Look,
I just wanted to throw that
Eddie
out there.
read the back.
Okay.
I'm sure they mentioned dinosaurs on the back.
No, but Eddie said
Right.
there were pictures. Eddie was like, "Oh, there's pictures." Of
I
dinosaur
got the
on
Just
cover.
Pictures edition, so.
I had to do a lot of inferring. I had to
It was
guess
actually
a
just
lot of
a
things.
picture book about dinosaurs. So.
Yeah.
It was like one of those DK encyclopedias from when we were kids.
Yep.
You
And your
remember
uncle
those?
was like, "Be quiet. Go to your room." And you were like, "At
Play
least I have my dinosaurs."
Yeah.
All right, what's your challenge, Chris?
3 sentences
Okay.
to describe this whole book.
You know, I wanna ask, if kids don't drink coffee, why are all children's books coffee table sized? Like those DK encyclopedias were big. The Magic School Bus books were like pretty big. They're like they look good on your
I think it's meant to
coffee
be
table.
an art book for children. You know, a book that you.
Oh, it's like a prestige item.
Yes.
Yeah, like the McSweeney's for teenies.
Oh, that's pretty good. You,
McTeenies. Yeah, we're a well-read group here at Andorks.
okay, so I will be doing 3 sentences. Chris, you'll be doing 2.
Sounds
Miranda
right.
will be doing 1, and
Sounds
you may
like
have to
that's
edit out Yuka's puppy dreams happening in the background.
Aww.
He's going whoop 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 over and over
They
again.
make a filter for that.
Oh, wonderful!
What do you know?
3 sentences.
You didn't prepare again.
You're
gonna do. You have
The
1 minute.
Animorphs?
You have 1 minute.
The
Go. You
Animorphs?
have 1 minute.
get nuked back to the Age of Dinosaurs, where Rachel and Tobias promptly get eaten, and Cassie makes Crocs out of a T-Rex, period.
Oh, the shoes.
Yeah.
Makes Crocs the shoes out of it. That's amazing. All right, period. One sentence.
Eventually, the kids find themselves in the crosshairs of a war between two alien races,
Yeah.
and then get bombed back to the present, period. Along the way, Cassie and Tobias finally get the spotlight, period.
Okay.
That was all three?
That was all three.
I zoned out for a bit there. All right, so for my 2 sentences, I'm going to say, like, Megamorphs 2, worst date idea ever, followed by...
This is still the first sentence, or that's...
No. Megamorphs 2, worst date idea ever, period.
That's a sentence.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it not?
No, it is. Yeah.
Okay,
It's just,
yeah,
it's like,
okay.
it's one of the sentences of all time, you know?
Yeah, it's like, it's a sentence, right? And then for my second sentence, I'll say... Tobias fully engages with the killing Hitler paradox, like,
true.
or whatever that's called, the sinking the Titanic thing, whatever the Tobias, the Jedi. Oh, I'll say it this way: the Jedi are gonna feel this one.
Okay, carcinization cannot truly be stopped, but sinking the world into an ice age might slow it down.
Nice. That was a sneaky use of a comma. Now, when you say carcinization, do you mean season 45, was it, of Survivor, where Carson made it all the way to the
44.
end? 44?
No, of course
No,
I am referring to the famous term in evolutionary biology describing the convergent evolution of crab-like body plans in various crustacean lineages.
Ah, yes, of course.
All return
yes.
to crab.
It's true.
Why isn't that your sentence? All return to crab.
All your crab are belong to us.
So
All right,
true.
well, so that was pretty good. Like, you know, maybe we should take breaks more often. Maybe we should do this once a year. No, I'm just kidding. All right, do we want to start with... we're trying something new here.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't let Eddy. Eddy chose to do the timing all on his own.
How'd I do?
Time
He was
timing.
like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But this, like, we got 10 minutes for the
Okay,
intro.
everyone in the audience,
Got
just remember
10
to
minutes.
vote for me for timekeeping.
Yeah. Because if Eddy doesn't win the fan award, he won't be invited back for the final challenge.
So
That's right.
please vote for me.
Yeah, please vote for Eddy. We all agree. As the host, you can't vote for me, so you have to vote for Eddy.
Yeah, and I'm not running this year. So
No. Miranda won last year, so you're back as our guest host. Yeah. What if somebody did that as a real? Anyway,
I don't know. Who's saying it's not real?
Chris Baldy's for president, please.
Please?
Pretty please.
Please
Yeah.
clap. If Jeb had gone with please clap,
Please clap. Please clap. Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday.
he should have just put that on every side. Either
Please
one.
clap. That would have been so fucking good. All right, chapters 1 through 3. Quick's reading here, that's me. Baby boy extraordinaire Marco is enjoying a rainy Saturday in front of the TV with his dad, as opposed to behind it. He's just about to grab the CheesePuffs for Papa, so the two of them can just encrust their fingers in that delicious cheddar dust and just fucking rot when a news flash threatens to ruin everything. Oh, no kidding. A nuclear submarine sank off the coast after experiencing reactor problems? Oh, you say the rescue ships are on the scene with a team of divers, but it's a little too stormy to save anybody right now? Marco groans. Even he can tell that this is a setup for an Animorphs book. Popcorn Moran burp.
Chapter 2. 30 minutes later, the 6 Animorphs are on the beach. We shift to Cassie's perspective as the gang morphs into dolphins. Legs soften and melt, faces bulge and stretch as if made of silly putty. You know, the good stuff. The gang is collectively high on their favorite morph until they start seeing helicopters and Navy ships. They must be nearing the submarine, the one having reactor problems. Cassie and the others fire off a series of echolocation blasts. Below them, the ocean floor is scarred by deep fissures. They'll need to spread out. The sub could be in any one of those fissures. Cassie worries they won't have enough time and morph to find the sub and get back to shore, but then 20 minutes later, she manages to find the sunken sub.
It really was like that.
It really was.
It really was.
The only thing left to do is somehow bring this useless little rescue team to the sub. Popcorn Edling?
Chapter 3, we cut to Jake's perspective as the 6 Animorphs tug one of the shit-for-brains divers to the shipwreck, gesturing and gnawing on her limbs until she understands. And guess what? She does! Mission accomplished.
Wow!
The gang resets their morphs, takes a moment to catch X up on the nuclear arms race and mutually assured destruction, but for some reason, instead of focusing on the rescue efforts, the diving team actually seems to be fleeing the scene. Almost as if that nuclear sub might be about to. There's a bright flash, followed by a shockwave. The world is torn apart and then goes black. Oh,
Then we see our intrepid heroes flying down a tunnel full of clocks, all moving in reverse.
I
want to say, like, the third line of this book is, do you ever wish you could just learn to keep your mouth shut? I do. And honestly, not being able to shut the fuck up is one of my biggest problems. So I really relate to this book from the jump.
It's a huge issue for people whose names start with M.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie.
How do we feel about CheesePuffs?
I'm a fan, but
Yeah?
you're right that it kind of gets everywhere. CheesePuffs on the couch, a little rough.
Oh, yes.
A little
Edwin
rough.
coming in with the least likely to be offensive take known to persons, saying, "Oh, how do you feel about cheese puffs?"
All right, I'm gonna take.
Are you
how I
running
start
for
dinner
office
parties.
right now?
I'm gonna take.
Oh, so we're just a dinner party to you?
I'm gonna take a slightly different tack. Back right at the beginning, Marco's describing the invasion, and he says Yeerks don't use a lot of ray guns. And I just want to ask if we consider Dracon Beam's ray guns, because I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sophisticated ray guns, to be clear.
But so,
yeah.
like, he says mostly the Yeerks don't use a lot of ray guns, and I just, like, that doesn't pass the vibe check for me.
That's not my experience, Marco, yeah. I think, like, if it walks like a ray gun, talks like a ray gun, it's probably a Dracon beam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Stands
Also,
to reason.
Rachel kind of gets into Cassie about having high waters on that she insists are actually probably just too short. But I'm saying, when is the time for high waters if not when we are wading into the ocean? She
Exactly.
dressed appropriately for the occasion. Rachel's like, oh,
just
if you
pissed
shrink
that she's
5
not
inches,
prepared.
then your
Right,
pants will
exactly.
fit.
Well-
And I'm like, what the...
See, they're stuck in a cycle right now, and Rachel has one or two ways that she knows how to interact with Cassie. In a few years, she'll realize that maybe...
Yeah, and just to dovetail off what you're saying, we know it from the past few books that Rachel's been talking about that in therapy, and that she wishes she had more she could say to Cassie when she's feeling insecure.
Right, but she can, because she holds Cassie in such high regard and really doesn't have anything to critique about her, she has to go for fashion.
Right.
And it's
What
just
if that is what these books are? It's not a historical account. They're 6 delusion children, one of which who thinks they're an alien, and they all went to the same therapist, and the therapist just kept all of it and was like,
wow, these fit together nicely. Weird. Some sort of shared delusion.
I should release these.
Marco makes a Beverly Hillbillies reference, and
Yes, I love that
I
reference.
Googled it before realizing that he says it's a Beverly Hillbillies reference 2 lines below
Yeah.
where he says it. I was like, who the fuck are the Clampets? And I looked it up, and I was
you
like,
know,
oh, Beverly
Chris?
Hillbillies.
What's so funny? Well, I watched a lot of TV Land growing up, and
That's
I
one I never
also
watched.
was watching something else. I think it was probably clips on YouTube of Dropout of all things, and somebody made a Clampets or how do you say it?
The Clampets, yeah.
Clampets.
You want us
yeah.
to give them the
Reference.
Clampets?
Which would be fitting for the guys we meet later in the book.
So true.
But no, yeah. So I just I was like, whoa, Beverly Hillbillies. That was like Texas tea.
Yeah.
Could we check in on Marco's dad and how he's doing? Is this just Saturday?
Baby right now.
Yeah, he's having a
baby.
sad day in
He's-
front of the TV, but he did just get a job again a few months ago.
Yeah.
So, like, this might be his only time to really veg out, and he really wants to take
And he wa-
advantage of it.
yeah,
but
with his son.
making Marco get all his stuff,
Yeah, that's fucking
like,
weird.
that doesn't feel cool.
He's
Yeah, it doesn't
camped
feel
out.
right.
He's not planning
Yeah.
to move. I just hope he gets.
And
out
I
to
mean,
go to the
we've all been
bathroom.
there. We've all been, well, since you're already standing, could you, like, you know,
has
if you're
back
heading that
problems.
way. Oh, maybe he has back problems from hunching over his computer.
Yeah.
Oh, he has tech neck.
Yeah.
Tech neck.
Yeah.
I love mini skateboards.
So we think this is just Saturday, and it's a rainy day. He's earned this, I think.
Oh,
Right?
listen, I don't get out of bed for at least an hour after I wake up. It's real life for me.
When Marco gets to Cassie's barn, it takes a minute to be stunned by how good Axe is looking. Like it's
They're
like
at the beach,
Axe-
actually.
Yes.
They're not
Oh,
at the
thank
farm.
you,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. But when they get together, he is stunned by Axe's appearance.
He's
And I just
disturbed,
imagine
actually.
him. Yes, and I imagine him telling Charisse and being like, "Look, I get that it won't work for me, but could you give me like something like Axe's super androgynous haircut? Like that would be super cool."
And she's like, babe, you have different hair textures. I can't make it work. And
That's
he's
right.
like, I get that, but could you give me something that
freaking
looks like what he has with my hair? Like, is there...
Yeah. Like, Charisse is like, show me what you want. Show me what you want.
And you know he has the pictures of Axe on his phone.
Oh, of course.
Well,
here's us
no.
at the movies.
On his
here's
phone,
us-
not his phone. No, they were in
Not
a
his
photo
phone.
booth. They have photo
It's,
booth pictures.
Yeah, it's the 90s. Yeah.
You know, oh my God,
Yeah.
the Animorphs absolutely all crammed into a photo booth at some point. And, that's
And then
like the
someone,
cutest thing
Marco
ever.
probably is
impartial
is
morph?
trying to morph, and Jake's freaking out.
feel
in
like-
we need fan art.
Am I like
Solicitation.
hallucinating right now? Like, yeah, like have we seen
I feel
fan
like we
art
might
this?
have, yeah.
I think we might have.
I feel like
keep-
there's like someone's pushing Marco's head down, and he's like, "I'm not actually that short. They're just pushing me down," you know. Like,
Yeah.
Is-
in the Discord, if you know of any fan art like that,
I
please
actually
gets
let us
think
know.
it's
startled
more
by the
likely-
flash and morphs back to Andalite.
I think it's more likely that this is a shared dream of the Anidorks. We all dreamt the same dream, and now someone's going to bring it into reality. I think that's more likely. than
that'd be
we've seen fan art
Just
before.
like Myst, where like, well, in Myst, you describe the world you want to go to, but it actually just maps onto
Yes.
a world that already exists.
Yeah.
In the Infinite
And then you
Universe.
trap your terrible
just like
sons in
that.
books. So,
Spoiler alert!
oh,
Jeez.
sorry.
I've
thought
never-
everyone
I mean,
had missed by now.
I don't know Gen Z. You think Gen Z?
Everybody should play Myst, but
Everyone should play
Blueprints
Myst.
is this generation's Myst.
It is
Oh
this
no, I
generation.
I'll say
haven't. Yeah.
It's really,
I'll
it's
say
like
it.
disgustingly good.
really
Oh, do you know
Yeah.
what? I only know of one Blueprints, and that's Elfangor.
Axe. Oh, Elfangor.
nice.
Wait, every Andalite prince is... Oh, it's fine.
A couple more things that I noticed. Jake also gets sad when it's overcast. We learned.
Yeah, he just
And I'm
gets
like,
grunch-
thank God, 'cause
grunchy.
that's just like, yeah, I get
Grouchy,
I'm
grumpy.
the same way.
Grunchy.
Also, when they're turning into dolphins, this is literally the last time in the book Cassie will be happy.
No, you think? Let's Cassie watch. No, we're officially on
Yeah,
Cassie
we'll
watch.
keep an eye out. We'll
We're
keep
on
an eye
Cassie
out.
Watch. Like, she has moments where she feels something other than upsetness, but like, she's pretty tilted the rest of this book.
There
She
is
a
there is
bad
one
time.
moment I can think of she is definitely happy, but it's more relief than happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The bird hug.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing is, this plan sucks. It's really bad. The
not great.
echolocation sucks. It's okay. I love them all. I'm ready for this. The echolocation probably doesn't go very far. Probably goes like 0.2 of a kilometer at most. Like a city block, which would be helpful, but not if there are these huge, I
Fissures,
looked this
yeah.
up from frickin' SeaWorld.org. Man, did that make me feel slimy.
Oof, yeah.
And actually, frankly, it might not be true if it's from
That's true.
SeaWorld.org.
That's just they
Or
only know
dot,
that's as
whatever,
big as
dot-
their cages, or that's as big as their tanks get. So like, that's as big
Weren't
as
they the ones who were like, whales die in captivity all the time? It's like, anyway.
I just want to draw our attention to one thing because we are being reminded of this plan of Marco's for a reason. Uniforms.
Yep.
Marco
he
brings
brings
it
it
up.
up again.
And so it's
does.
got to be going somewhere. Why else are we talking about it so much? So
I will say, there's another thing that happens in this book that I flagged 2 instances of that I think must have been important in an earlier draft. I'll bring them up, but
please.
They don't end up mattering.
Yeah.
Also, Rachel just immediately suggests that they kidnap one of the divers, and Marco's like, that's crazy. And Jake's like, meh, it's what we're doing
Damn
now.
it, she's right.
And he's like,
she's
"No."
right. Are we ready for chapter 4?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
where
all
could
right,
we have
let's do
gone?
it.
We have to find out where our children went. So
All right, I'm going to go pee. I'm
Okay.
just kidding.
No.
Chapter 4, as read by a pissing Chris. Can somebody make tinkling sounds in the back? No, just kidding. Rachel, thank you. It's the only, otherwise I just think about everybody else peeing and I can't pee. I don't know what this bit is. I'm so sorry, audience. So sorry.
and
All
yet
right.
we're here. So
And yet we're here, and we're yes-anding today. I love that for us. Rachel wakes up on the surface of the ocean, still in dolphin morph. Certain things seem off. Wasn't it stormy just a minute ago? The sky gray, the water choppy? But now the sun is high in the sky. The water is calm, way too clear. Piss-like in its clearness. Especially for the aftermath of a nuclear sub exploding. Shit, wait. How long has she been out? Better yet, how long has she been in morph? She thought speaks to the others and manages to find everyone, all unconscious except for Marco. I mean, that crystal clear water really helped in locating everyone. Really, it's almost unsettlingly clear. Rachel and Marco nudge their friends awake, only for Cassie to regain consciousness in great pain, bleeding from her eyes and blowhole. Lol. Cassie, you are so funny sometimes, Rachel says as she and Jake support Cassie in her melting brain out of the water so that she can demorph. Within seconds of returning to human, Cassie is fine. That sure was weird, Cassie said. Let's be sure not to investigate that any further. Anyway, it really is an extraordinarily beautiful day. The sunny sky, the clear water, and hey, isn't that a volcano over there that never comes up again later in the book? The rest of the Animorphs, still in dolphin morphs, dive deep down below the surface and then rocket upwards out of the water, arcing through the air in order to confirm, yep, that's a volcano, lol. Must have been that nuclear submarine. Excuse me, Axe interrupts politely. He informs the group that something very large is approaching. Actually, 2 large things are approaching, but no one listens to Axe. Maybe he hasn't heard about the volcano, but he probably just senses a pair of whales. But then, the very large creatures arrive. 2 This is factually incorrect. 2 Loch Ness monster-looking motherfuckers with necks that rise 10 feet above the water. As I said, Axe said, not whales.
Actually, Axe says it smugly. He says it smugly, and I need him to know that it is not the time.
Did you guys ever watch that show?
Yes, I have watched it.
It's good.
Actually.
Yeah.
He's like, see, not whales. I knew they weren't whales. Y'all didn't listen to me, but I'm smart. Not now.
And he could have added panic to his voice, I think, if he could have communicated this a little bit more if they were.
Yeah.
Genuinely can't believe we didn't talk about the lolling. Rachel's lolling as
she
a
lolled.
dolphin.
Yeah, she was lolling in the water.
Lolling. She lolled. Just like Marco and Jake.
I will also say, Rachel said she learned about volcanoes from Magic School Bus, and that's the way we learned things back then. She seems embarrassed, but I don't get it. If you weren't
the only way to learn.
If you weren't watching it before the bus came to pick you up, what were you doing in the morning?
Wikipedia did not exist
It's
when
true.
Magic School Bus existed.
I love that Rachel's watching. This feels like it's not the show that I would have expected. I mean, what would we think that Rachel would be watching on?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Xena?
Xena's a little old for...
Yeah.
Totally Spies?
Ooh, Totally Spies wasn't out yet, but yes.
Yeah, that
It's
one
told
was-
by Ginger? Maybe that's
Oh,
later.
love That's Told by
also-
Ginger.
Isn't that also later?
I think so. We have to remember that Rachel is older than us.
Yeah, she's a few years older than us, yeah.
This is all, she's like 12, 13, 14 in 1998 now, so like...
Yeah.
This is, unless we're in the year 2000, it can't be as told by Ginger. It'd be more like Clarissa Explains It All.
Oh, hell yeah, she watched Clarissa
Yeah.
Explains
It's
It All.
very depressing to think that these kids may be out there writing cover letters right now for jobs.
You're like nervous about competing with an Animorph?
Yeah, they can morph.
No, they've
so
already
real.
they're established in their careers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You should just start putting morphing
Or
on
their
your
trauma
resume, 'cause
prevents
they'll
them from being successful in
Yeah.
their careers,
But I
which
think
gives
if
me
you
the
just
upper
put-
hand. So
Yeah, and if you just put morphing on your resume, it's not like they're going to ask you to do it in the interview.
Right, that's
Just like
very
when-
rude.
Yeah, that's
well, no,
super
I
rude.
did put it on my resume, and they asked me to do it in the interview.
And you said, I
that's
didn't bring my
rude.
morph suit. I'm not going to get naked. Like,
I'm not going to get naked for. I'm not going to
HR.
HR day
Yeah.
one.
Okay, we should talk about the volcano.
yeah.
It's irrelevant to
volcano.
the entire book.
The only thing that's relevant about it is that it can't have been where they were.
Right. But
Yeah.
it sure is like, they're sure like, whoa, this volcano. And
Yeah.
it's like sitting there and it's like, it has nothing to do with anything
Yeah.
for the rest of the
It's
book.
just about making you know that the landscape is
It's a MacGuffin.
changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's how they're getting back to their timeline.
Oh,
right
they're
now.
gonna blow. They're
They're
gonna
gonna
blow the
sacrifice.
volcano.
They're gonna sacrifice Marco at the top
Yes.
of the volcano.
Yeah.
to summon the elements,
Yeah.
who will then bring them back to their timeline.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll say specifically, "Please take us back to." And the elements is like, "I can even bring your short king friend back to life." And they're like, "No,
That's
That's fine.
Don't be
It's fine.
sad.
And you,
Don't be sad.
somehow you hear dead Marco
sacrifice.
going, "Can I be taller? Like,
Can I be taller?"
bring me back at 5'9". All right, chapter 5.
Chapter
Yeah,
5.
let's do it.
We enter Dolphin Tobias's perspective as he and the others flee from the gigantic sea creatures. He knows what is chasing them, Tobias says, or at least he knows a creature that looks exactly like the ones that are chasing them. But for that creature to exist, well, that would just be impossible. The Animorphs plow through the placid water, but the creatures continue to gain on them. They'll have to either split up or fight, Jake says. Rachel wants to fight, and Tobias has to tell Rachel that there's no way they can possibly win against these sea monsters, which is really, really difficult for him to do because he thinks Rachel is so hot when she gets all murdery. Now I'm seeing why you mentioned difficult. Like, she would make an amazing bird of prey. Has she considered becoming a bird of prey? Like, that would be like so cool. Doesn't matter. Tobias gets eaten alive. That's just how it happens sometimes. One moment you're swimming, the next a big mouth appears beneath you in the water, tosses you up in the air like a cheese puff, and then swallows you whole. It's not even one of the Nessies that gets him, but an all-new enemy entering the fray. Tobias lands in an itchy pool of stomach acid. Yuck! He can hear this.
Itchy is such an inaccurate way
He
of
said,
describing
I think
that.
the first thing he says is that it itches before he realizes it's burning him.
Yes.
He can hear the sound of churning, the beat of a heart, the uncomfortable nudge of a big rock that he's sharing the tummy with.
That infernal heart.
Oh, hey,
going.
and is that another dolphin there beside Tobias? Hey, it's Rachel! Cute! Nothing more romantic than being slowly digested alive together. Rachel says that she's going to morph, tear her way out of here, but to do that, she'll have to pass through her human form. Tobias will do the same, returning to his bird form. Only now Tobias's bird form is composed of fragile, hollow bones. Well, it always was. And Rachel's human skin is exposed to the burning stomach acid. And every time she moves within the cramped space of the stomach, she crushes Tobias's tiny hawk body a little bit more. His left wing is broken, his tail too. Not fun. And as if that wasn't bad enough, Tobias realizes one tiny additional problem. They're both suffocating. Seriously, what the fuck, K.A.?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, for real.
What a
This
way
whole
to start
scene-
the book, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That should have been the free chapter at the end of last book.
Yeah.
It's like, and the kids are like, whoa. Oh, man.
I can't. There's so much going on here. I mean, obviously, chapter 5 is an early spot in the book to be getting digested. I think we should slow down.
Remember what our chapter 7s used to be like? And now this is
Right?
where we're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Secondly, this is the beginning of Tobias's thread of confronting the fact that he sees himself more as a hawk than a person, or than a human.
Yeah.
But he is still really attracted and into Rachel, and this seems to be causing some confusion for him because the part of him that identifies as a hawk, I think, thinks he should want to be with a hawk, although he already sort of explored that in book 3 and it didn't go great, but like he was less hawk then than he is now, I feel like, but I don't know.
Are you sure? Like, I don't remember that texture from the book. My memory's a little foggy. Just like, are you sure it wasn't like insecurity about him being a bird?
So he says, I liked Rachel even before I became a hawk, but now I really like her. She could be a bird of prey. She'd be a natural. That sounds to me like him wishing she was a bird. Right? And then we get comments later about, I wouldn't, she has to change her clothes. And he's like, oh, I wouldn't look at you. I'm a hawk. And then he looks at her and thinks she's beautiful, like up close. He's like, I could see all her pores and everything. And I still thought she was beautiful. And then he was like, what was I doing? That was stupid. I'm a hawk.
I think it's there. I feel like him wishing that Rachel, maybe it's not as straightforward as he wishes Rachel was a bird. He's trying to come up with a solution to the very real problem that they are no longer the same in this
right.
Right. Yeah.
And I think this is him thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool if she was a bird? But he doesn't want her to be a bird, but he doesn't want to be a human. It's like he's walking this delicate path. He's forging his own path, and like the texture of it is there throughout the book, and it shows up in really interesting ways.
I think that's kind of what I meant by like the insecure thing is it's not like his thoughts are what he actually wants so much as he's like trying to get to where he actually wants to go.
Yeah, he can't figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I think even more than Jake or Cassie have ever been allowed to express, I feel like Tobias expresses attraction here. Like, I don't know that anyone has really grappled with looking at one of the other Animorphs and going, oh, this person's hot. Like, maybe Marco with Axe, but that's the other,
But
and it's
everyone with Axe, really, they all say he's disturbingly attractive.
Yes,
but this is the most. Jake and Cassie's relationship seems to be much more about how they feel about each other.
It's
and I'm not saying that's. Yeah, I'm not saying that's absent from Tobias and Rachel's, but like there's a definite like attraction to Rachel's physical form that is present. For sure.
Yeah.
And that Rachel has reciprocally for the bird.
Yes. Yeah.
Also the last thing Tobias thinks as he thinks he's dying, and he's remembering the booklet that came with the figurine of the animal whose stomach he's dying in. He thinks, they were wrong, I thought as my mind shut down. It's bigger than they said. And I just want to say, arguing with paleontologists as you die is like the peak achievement of petty that I aim to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope my last thoughts are, they were so fucking stupid. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I love the nerdiness, the dino nerdiness that we get of
I love
Tobias'
it. I was
book.
a dino kid, so like.
Yeah. What a good characterization. Should we jump to chapter 6 and 7?
Yeah.
Well,
I did
like. I do just want to we talked about this because we're going to get to it, but this is a wild rom-com for Rachel. Like, I just want to put that out there. Like, the thread of the Rachel Tobias half of this is worst date ever, but it's such a date. Like, they're on a date.
Yes.
And it's like,
I just want to bring up something we've talked about before early on so we can look for it throughout. They put Rachel through her body in particular through so much shit in this book. Once again, why is she being asked to feel all the physical pain for everyone else?
All the physical pain. Yeah. Right. And then also she hides it from people to try and keep them from feeling bad, which is wild. Yeah. Also, who taught you the word vore, Ed? I'm seeing in the notes.
Eddie's comment was,
I'm very online.
The vore.
Did someone direct message you about that?
No, they DM'd me, Chris. So.
You really are online.
Oh, yeah.
Go get him, Tiger. Yeah. All right, well, this one's you. Go. This is your summary. Take it away.
We jump into Dolphin Jake's perspective just in time for him to see his cousin and his drawer-nesting friend Tobias get launched. Jake is horrified, but he knows that he still needs to lead the remaining Animorphs. The Animorph-eating monster starts to brawl with the two creatures with long necks, creating a distraction that allows the 4 remaining Animorphs to escape. Only problem is Cassie doesn't want to escape. She doesn't want to leave her friends behind. Marco and Axe have to bite her flippers and drag her away. Eventually the kids reach the shore expecting to find the boardwalk, but the boardwalk isn't there. The typical crowds of people aren't there. You know what is there? Rough, dark sand, untouched by human footprints, so unlike the well-trodden white beaches that Jake knows. A deafening quiet in place of a din of traffic and pedestrians. Oh, and a towering, smoking volcano. Chekhov's volcano? The kids demorph and explode.
No, no, it's not.
The kids demorph and explore their surroundings. Marco suggests that maybe the blast blew them around the world somehow, all the way to an undeveloped island. Jake blames himself for the death of his friends. Axe disguises himself in his human morph just in case they run into anybody, and studies a violent gap in the tree line, almost as if something forced itself through, bending and snapping tree branches. He asks Jake what sort of animal can do that. A tornado, maybe? Jake suggests. What was the creature from the first Megamorphs? That's what it's reminding me. The Valique, yeah. A tornado, maybe? Jake suggests. Axe asks if tornadoes have feet. After all, Jake is standing in a clawed footprint about 6 inches deep into the sand and 4 feet across. Popcorn. Quicks!
We jump to Cassie's perspective as Jake leaps out of the paw print. She deduces that whatever left these prints must have been very, very tall, capable of eating leaves from trees that are far off the ground, sort of like a giraffe might do. Jake's like, so it's a giraffe. It's so cute when he tries. But Cassie says, definitely not a giraffe, babe. This thing also had an enormous tail, capable of its own visible destruction of the landscape, just from the creature doing as little as turning around. Real klutz. Cassie begins to cry. She's having a miserable time. Really, she hasn't stopped since they left her friends. I told you. Poor Rachel, she thinks. Poor Tobias. Jake comforts her, putting an arm around her as he basically tells her that if anyone can survive being eaten alive, it would be him. And so Rachel and Tobias are probably dead. Which, fair, given that's what's happened in the series already.
He says it would be Rachel.
It would be Rachel and Tobias. Cassie, Jake, Marco, and Axe go looking for any trace of other people living there. They find a stream. They drink from it, only to be nearly killed by the bacteria inside of it. And one big honking crocodile, Marco shouts, even though the creature is way too big to be a crocodile. I'm not getting any points for this assignment. I am not following the rules. The kids are really confused by this point. Axe decides that, you know what? He might stick with his andalite form rather than his frail human body. They hear a creature munching on leaves through the brush and go to explore, discovering an enormous creature, 20 feet long head to tail, with a long, slender neck occupying a third of its body. I think it's a baby, Cassie whispers. A baby? Marco says. Cassie, that's a goddamn dinosaur. And then a T-Rex leaps over the Animorphs into the scene, breaking the fourth wall and saying, I sure am a dinosaur. Breaking the baby dino's neck with its powerful jaw within seconds.
Yeah.
Exciting. Lots of...
I'm not going to lie. I have this problem when I'm reading normally where I just stop paying attention and my imagination starts going and I expect it to all just work and it never does.
There's not too much to say. They keep asking Cassie to roll nature checks and she keeps kind of beefing them. She gets okay. She rolls like a 10. She's like, it was something like a giraffe, but not a giraffe. That's certainly information. But just, you wait until she gets her survival checks, buddy. You did not know she took points in it, but she definitely did.
I do like Cassie. I like seeing how Cassie experiences grief here because we've had possible Animorph deaths in the past, and this one felt the most visceral in terms of what Cassie's going through and how we hear about it,
Totally.
And it won't stop here. It'll continue through future chapters.
It does. And I think, interestingly, Jake's immediate blaming of himself for their deaths hurt almost as badly as Cassie's screaming as they pulled her away. It was just all around bad time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They really go out of their way in this book to make you not want to live in the Age of Dinosaurs.
No.
I feel like that's they just make it a total war zone.
It's almost like K.A. had a niece or nephew who was like, come on, you make dinosaurs real. And she's like, I really don't want to.
It's not going to be as good a book as you wanted to.
You're going to hate it. And
if I do it, you're going to hate it. I love that. That's so good.
All right, shall we?
Chapter 8?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We cut to Rachel, drenched in stomach acid. Unlike Tobias, Rachel's fucking pissed about the whole getting eaten alive situation. Sure, she might die, but she's gonna make sure the creature that devoured her dies with her. Rachel morphs into a grizzly and tears her way out of the creature, ripping a hole through its gizzard and then penetrating the lungs. Turns out that as Rachel ripped apart the creature from the inside, the creature had beached itself on the shore, making it easy for Rachel and Tobias to find steady ground on which to recover. Tobias is badly damaged, his wings and tail a mess, but his burb eyes work just fine. That small herd over there? Hadrosaurs, he says. Rachel's like, Hadro what now? Tobias continues, well, and those long-neck creatures in the water, those were obviously Elasmosauruses. Anyone could have told you that, but that dinosaur that ate us? Total Chronosaurus, right? I mean, you probably thought it was like a Mesosaurus? Classic mistake, but the massive skull followed by a very short neck, dead giveaway. Oh my God, Rachel said. You're not just gay, That's right, Rachel. I'm dino gay. And then there's a really great signed picture of Laura Dern that I think which I think is important too.
Yeah. I am sharing that in our Patreon Discord right now. Crediting you, Eddy.
Yeah, he reveals he's a dino boy. She didn't know. We also end with Tobias, we are going to need some better morphs, which is a Jaws reference. Like, we're doing Jurassic Park and Jaws in the same movie, or in the same book? Come on.
Yeah.
And also, when she cuts open the thing that they're inside, and she gets the lung open first, which grants them access to air, which is fantastic. But so feeling the vibrations as the creature you're trapped inside screams is a new fear that unlocked for me while reading this book. That's something I never thought.
For me, I feel like it's the only way I could. No, I'm just
the only thrill left.
Also, as she almost dies, she hears herself tell her to cut it, to do it. She's like, I'm not gonna die. She says,
yes,
and I swear, as I swirled down into the darkness, there came a voice, clear as a bell in my head. My own voice, but from outside of my own head. No, you idiot, it said, not your lungs. Duh. Because she's having a conversation. She hears something going, the lungs. She's like, yeah, I'm suffocating. My lungs need air. And it's like, not your lungs. And then she realizes if she cuts open the animal's lungs, that they'll get the air. But she also, sees herself from outside. This is not the only time we will get hearing your own voice call to you from, externally.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's a detail I totally missed.
As far as I can tell, important at all. I hate to spoil that now, but, as far as I can tell, that is not some part of what's going on.
It could be Ellimist intervention via herself being given, and
it's like the Ellimist using her voice.
I don't know. The book also explores I don't want to spoil anything, but it explores we went back in time, so we're the cause of the
right.
future.
So this already happened. So it could be ripple effects.
Tobias getting his own morph back, which would give a nice symmetry to them as a couple.
Yeah,
as if Rachel has some sort of interaction with the Ellimist now to balance it, because she's the other one. Wasn't it her book? It was book 7. She had Ellimist stuff.
Yeah.
The confusing
that was the slideshow.
It's confusing because it hasn't happened elsewhere in the series, but this is a phenomenon that people report in near-death experiences, having this weird moment of themselves speaking, hearing a voice.
Interesting.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I imagine as the brain shuts down, all sorts of stuff happens.
I mean, I have internal conversations with myself sometimes, and I feel like my brain. Another part of my brain talks to me in moments when I'm overwhelmed. That is, I feel like an experience a lot of people relate to.
Yeah.
But the fact that it pops up here and it will pop up shortly again, and then it will not matter, makes me feel like it mattered in an earlier draft of this book.
Oh, this is the thing. Ah, okay.
Yeah. The problem with my inner voice is it's Alan Cumming doing Chapman. Wow, that didn't sound right. It's
Alan,
Chapman
what?
played. All right, should we get to chapter 9?
Let's move on.
Fisher 3. He would not be Chapman, I don't think.
It's Julia Child.
I think he could do
Visser
Visser 3's
2?
human morph. I think he'd be a good. Oh, Visser 2. Ooh.
The
Spy
prankster,
Kids, right?
The prankster.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Our theory is Visser 2's a
When,
prankster.
where,
right?
and why?
Wow, I can't believe you remember that. I have not seen that movie since
Chapter 9!
Chapman 9.
Chapter 9. Tobias is in terrible pain. Why? Rachel suggests that he morph into something else, then demorph to heal himself. But Tobias
painful.
tries this and it doesn't work. In fact, it somehow makes the pain worse. For whatever reason, those healing properties that the Animorphs rely on normally don't seem to work here. Wherever or whenever here is.
Whenever, wherever.
Rachel suggests that Tobias just stay in human morph for now. Please. But Tobias doesn't want to. Being human is uncomfortable.
That hurts.
Being human isn't comfortable for him anymore. Plus, Tobias will only heal if he gives himself time in his bird form. He asks Rachel to set his wing. At first, she's reluctant. She's not Cassie after all. But Tobias convinces her to try anyway with some twigs and some scraps from her morphing suit, aka her leotard. Tobias uses his beak to tear off 3 pieces of fabric, and then they get to work on fixing up Tobias's wing. Once
Weirdly
Tobias,
intimate.
yes.
It's so exactly what they're doing.
Once Tobias's wing is set, they venture off in search of the others. Tobias perched on Rachel's shoulder. He tells Rachel that he believes they're in the Cretaceous period. She says that she had no idea he was so into dinosaurs. He explains that he learned a bunch about dinos when he was living with his uncle. All his uncle did was drink and yell at Tobias if he made any noise, so Tobias escaped into playing dinosaur. Rachel absorbs this information in silence, then she asks him to tell her more about the Cretaceous period. He explains that this is the last age of the dinosaurs before they were wiped off the face of the planet. Hint, hint. And that many of the most fearsome dinosaurs existed during this period, including one in particular, the Tyrannosaurus
Something
Rex.
about the centerpiecing of the Cretaceous period in your recap, it's like they just like had this weird thing where they accidentally kissed or something.
It felt weird to me. I
the
read it over.
Cretaceous- Yeah,
Well, no,
it is that way.
There's
That's what happened.
There's 2 things that sort of makes it happen though, because it's the setting of the wing and all that, and then it's hey, I'm a hawk, remember? I would never even look, because she's like, if I lose any more of my leotard, it's gonna get embarrassing. And see, that's the I'm a hawk, I would never even look. She says, yeah, right.
She's like, she knows Tobias is a horn dog, so.
Yeah.
Horn hawk.
But this is also
Don't get him started on horn hawks.
Did we need to undress Rachel? I'm not sure
Yeah,
that we
can
did.
we just?
We needed
Can
the
I
cloth.
just read? Can I just read through?
But they're
what
never going to
actually
do that to
happens in
Jake.
the
Sorry,
damn book?
yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, because I just want to hit this because it's like I just was like I was sitting reading this book, my jaw just getting closer and closer to the floor.
Yeah.
I felt vaguely as scandalized as I did when Miley Cyrus released Wrecking Ball.
Oh, wow.
And I saw that music video and I was like, Miley, jeez. I don't know. If I had any nerve, I would read it the way I heard it in my head, but I can't. Can somebody do this justice? Just leave it be.
no, I don't know. It's very something for sure.
There's something about just like imagining it. It's like it's either like a Wes Anderson awkward moment or like freaking Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Like it could be Napoleon Dynamite. It's giving.
But I don't know,
Napoleon
him
Dynamite
reaching up
romance
with his
scene.
little razor sharp
beak.
beak to start a tear, because he doesn't tear them all for her. He just starts the
It's
tear so that
just
she can do it. So
awkward.
it is.
I don't want to be in this room. Just let me go.
Yeah.
Oh, I just pulled it up to read it too. Okay, but
No. Do you want to read it? You want to read it? Read it. Give it everything.
what part am I starting at? Rachel looked down at her Morphe outfit. It was a black one-piece leotard. Okay, so I go to the bare midriff look, she said. She tried to tear a hole in the fabric. My finger... I hear it now. My fingernails are just too short. Here.
Bend down.
She bent close, and I used my beak to make a tear in the fabric. From that first tear, Rachel quickly ripped off 3 strips of black nylon. I just have one thing to say, Tobias. Don't break another wing. I mean, this doesn't look bad. It could actually be a kind of a fashion statement, but any more, and we'd be getting embarrassing.
Hey, I'm a hawk, remember? I would never even look. But, like, right after this, she's mending the wing and they're shouting and moaning pain. Like, it's just like, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's true.
1, 2,
Just get it over with.
Oh my god, I didn't hear any
Tighter.
of this.
It'll hurt you. It'll hurt worse if my wing doesn't heal.
Yeah, it's like, it's so good.
I don't know how
She
Cassie does
tightened-
things like
Hang
that.
on. She tightened and I tried not to scream. Just leaving it there.
I'm not gonna. That's incredible. And Eddy, I don't know how Cassie does things like that. That was really fun.
Point, yeah. You did great. No training, no experience. Come on, you did great.
She was sweating
What
and
on?
Oh, Yeah, I'm sorry. I hate that it was there on the page.
No, it was there.
It was rough. It was rough.
All right, now we can leave this chapter behind. Let's
Chapter
move
10 and
on.
11. I believe it's Quicks.
Marco gets chased by a T-Rex. He trips and falls while fleeing, leaving him on the ground as the others continue on, seemingly unaware that Marco has fallen. He hides behind a tree and morphs into an osprey, hoping to fly away. But just as he completes the morph, powerful jaws clamp down around him. Osprey Marco manages to escape through the prison of teeth. Capitalism, only to fall right into a tree, knocking him out of the air. All seems lost. Then X steps in to save the day, killing the distracted T-Rex with a few quick swipes of his epic tail. Maburb, take it away.
Cut to Axe's perspective as he wipes his tail clean. He's trembling, but no one notices. Everyone is too busy celebrating Axe and his impressive kill. Marco says that Axe saved his life,
Sick kill, man.
to which Axe says he was lucky. Please don't think I can fight and defeat these creatures, Axe says. The animal is distracted and unaccustomed to being attacked. But how could they possibly be pursued by a T-Rex? Axe admits that he feels a strange distortion in his timekeeping sense. Possibly they've experienced a Sario rip. They've likely gone millions of years into the past, and 2 of their own are likely already dead. Jake asks, what do we do? We fucking adapt, Cassie says. That's what animals have to do in order to survive. Our environment is massively different. No civilization to rely on, surrounded by brutal predators. So we adapt, or we get eaten. Suddenly, Cassie seems to be leading the group. We have food and clothes right here, she says, gesturing to the T-Rex. Axe has his tail. We can use the hide to make sandals. Skin from the lower leg there looks pretty tough and thick. We cut out some skin, remove the meat and eat it, then we use ligaments and tendons to lace up the sandals. They'll eat some of the T-Rex meat now and smoke the rest for jerky. Marco and Jake are shocked, but Cassie's best friend is already gone, and Tobias is gone. She doesn't want to add any more names to that list. The Animorphs are far more vulnerable in this environment, and so they need to become scavengers. Cassie instructs Axe to carve the meat, while Jake and Marco collect leaves and sticks to smoke the meat. Axe looks to his prince to confirm this is the plan. Jake agrees. Cassie is the boss now. In Chapter 10, we get Marco hearing his own voice, yelling, Morph, you idiot.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you're totally right. There was something on the cutting room floor of this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
And we also get Axe saying he recognizes dry humor from Marco, but hasn't heard any wet humor, and I can't figure out a way to make that joke that isn't gross, so I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
It's a little blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Axe.
Yeah. I love this Cassie character development that we get. She's kind of the star of the book, I think.
She's kind of turning into Les Stroud. She's turning into Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
People remember Les Stroud, right?
I don't remember who that is, no.
I thought that was Survivor Man.
Oh, I don't remember his name. Which one wanted to drink his own piss all the time?
That's Bear Grylls.
Okay.
Bear Grylls was like getting thirsty.
Just waiting for an excuse.
Everybody was like,
I
God
want to
damn
break
it.
out the pee.
Anyway, Cassie definitely, she nat 20'd this survival check. This is crazy. Shoes are the first thing you need. She's so right. And we will see what happens when you don't have shoes portrayed in other parts of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chekhov's shoes.
Chekhov's shoes. You need shoes.
Yeah.
Chekhov's shoes sometimes weren't.
Yeah, because for some reason Rachel needed to be the one that to teach us that lesson, I think.
Of course.
But Cassie actually gets to be, like, Jake even steps aside. I mean, Jake's, I think, usually happy to step aside for someone else to lead, but...
True.
For sale, Chekhov's
3
shoes.
sale, Chekhov's shoes.
Chekhov's shoes, never worn. All right,
Well,
we'll get it.
Gotta get it in the third act. For sale.
The third act.
For sale, Chekhov's gun, Act 3.
All right.
Do we think this has anything to do with the scene that we've talked so much about in the, what was it called? The attack? The assault? The siege? The Rhino book, where Jake turns into a rhino. And Cassie wants to kill Joe Bob
The one where
Finestra.
they're always DMing.
Oh yeah,
DMing
she
each
has a
other.
moment in here. It's later in the book, but she has a moment where she's like, "I never want to hurt things,
Yeah.
even when we should." And I'm like, "Really, bitch?"
Cassie, fuck off.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
I'm
not
telling
quite
you,
ready
dude,
to own up to that yet, so...
I'm telling you, she is the one with the biggest swing in personality that we've seen. It is. She is all over the map right now. Couldn't have been more wrong, Ed. Couldn't
No,
have been more
I
wrong.
feel you. And yeah, Cassie just takes over. That's it. She's so good at this that there's not a lot to say. She just seems to know what she's doing.
Yeah, she just chops up a dinosaur.
Marco is pretty horrified by his encounter with the T-Rex.
Yeah, he was a trembly
Is
boy.
worth noting. Trembly boy.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Him shaking like that.
Yeah.
Him shaking like a leaf.
And
Yeah,
Axe just
scary.
being like, I want to be clear. Under normal circumstances, I will not be able to kill a T-Rex.
Yeah, because they're ready to go like,
Constantly.
let's go get 2 T-Rexes for Axe
And it's
to
like,
fight
no.
at once.
Yeah, I find myself saying that a lot at work. Just like, oh, don't make me do that again. We got lucky that time.
The problem was distracted, so yeah. Chapter 12?
Yeah, let's do it.
We return to Rachel and Tobias as they continue their trek to find the others. They have water from following the river, but they're hungry, exhausted, and both injured. Rachel's bare feet are bleeding with every step, collecting bugs attracted to the cuts. While Tobias
She's
is
stopping to collect bugs.
while Tobias's
She's
wings
gonna
are
trade
still
him in.
injured.
It's like Zelda.
Yeah. They see smoke in the distance, miles away. But it's getting dark. Tobias insists that Rachel morph the bald eagle and go check if it's the other Animorphs. She refuses to leave him. They decide to rest for the night. Then they hear something. A herd of Triceratops. Harmless, except the herd is being hunted by a pack of Deinonychus?
Deinonychus.
Deinonychus.
Human-sized lizards that are far more dangerous. And those creatures have just found far easier prey. And that's where we'll
It's
leave
like-
Rachel and Tobias for now.
Yeah. The way you can remember how to pronounce it is like if you went to a Hershey Park themed restaurant, you might order something and you might dine on a kiss.
Hershey's
That's cute, Chris. You should work for marketing at Hershey.
This is where Rachel brings up that Tobias could just stay human permanently, and he completely pauses and just like does not engage with that and just doesn't say anything for a while. And it clearly, but this is also where Rachel's like, you could morph human and we could walk together. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's probably hurting you to have me on your shoulder. You know, his talons are like digging into her skin and she's trying not to act like it's happening, but like it's happening. And she's like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's not about that. It's just that, you wouldn't be in pain if you were in human morph, which we already tried and like it didn't work, did it? Or was it just when he morphed back that it didn't work?
It was when he morphed back.
So when he was in
right.
human morph, he didn't have the pain. So that's true. But
Why
she's
does that
like,
happen? Did we ever... Is it something?
No.
It's not made clear.
It doesn't, it never comes up.
Yeah.
My only theory is that because it's before morphing technology was actually invented by the Andalites, something about what makes it work doesn't exist yet.
I
But
have
that
a different. I think it might be because he's actually a bird. Like they have healed their morphs, but have they? I don't really remember them healing them.
It's worked. She says it's worked.
Really?
I think.
Well, but she's not the biggest follower of.
No,
things.
I don't
She's
think
not
that
the
they
most-
would. I don't think that they would have Rachel say that though. Like KA would have.
Well,
Rachel's-
but they're literally debating.
Yeah,
whether
she
or
says the
not
new
he's
hawk
more
body will
human
be
than
constructed
bird.
from the DNA and should be fine, just like what happens when we injure a morph
But
body.
he's a bird now.
Yeah.
And he's a bird using morphing technology. I don't think if they break their leg as a human,
well,
they get
so
to morph
I
something
think
more
they
back.
do, but
it would
don't
be
think
maybe
so.
they're changing the rules because this is the thing I've
be.
been wanting
Yeah.
to bring
Megamorphs,
up. This is a
too.
total aside, but the fact that we learned that Andalites. I've had this idea and I've been waiting to bring it up on the podcast. But Andalites, soldiers, if they could heal from morphing, it would make sense for them to actually morph more often, to have other morphs, so that they could just heal their Andalite forms when they get injured in battle. But if it doesn't heal their base forms, maybe.
I don't think it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Does
that make sense?
I don't know why I'm confident.
I think the
but I
most
don't think they
logical
heal your
thing
base
for
forms. Yeah.
Andalites to do would be to find the strongest Andalite, all acquire him as a
That
morph, and then
right.
fight in that morph in
And
a
then
battle.
have the Clone Wars Andalite.
And then when
edition.
they morph back, their regular bodies are all safe and sound and snuggly.
See, that's the thing in D&D 5th edition, it's like you're a druid, you morph a tiger, your tiger gets beat up, you morph back to druid, you have your hit points from before, but I don't think it heals you. It's like whatever state
It's what you
morphed
were
the
in.
tiger.
Okay.
Yeah. But
We'll see.
I think it's
we've been
totally
reading these
possible
books for a long time.
that they are also still figuring out some of the rules of those things. Because
Just to put a pin in it, or to put a finer point on it, I really do think it is about maybe Rachel coming to terms with him being permanent hawked or something.
And that he doesn't want to turn back into a human.
juxtaposed against the fact that they had that conversation that Miranda pointed out. Yeah, I think it's she's like, well, it would work if you were human morph it, and then they get to the end and they're having this early couples fight.
Yeah,
Because he's like, if I morph human and then morph back, you'll just have to reset my wing, and that wasn't fun. And she's like, you could just stay human. And he's like, I don't want to do that.
What if Rachel had said, you didn't hear me say that wasn't fun?
maybe it would help. Tobias. It's obvious that Tobias is into Rachel. Maybe Rachel needs to express how cute or attractive she thought human Tobias was. We don't really get the attraction.
I mean, she kept a picture of him.
That's true.
It's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Wait, there's one little thing I want to hit here. You were pointing out, Miranda, when Rachel's talking about Tobias morphing back to human permanently. He doesn't say anything for a while, and then he does something that he can only probably do in his red-tailed hawk form. He has Rachel lift him up like a little periscope. She hoists his eyes up. She gives
peregrine scope.
she gives him
peregrine
uppies.
Scope.
She gives him uppies.
Uppies, yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, chapter 13.
All right, back to Cassie's perspective. She and the others successfully make fire. They're thrilled by this accomplishment. Cassie says that it feels weird and significant and yet silly, like a holy ritual. She wishes Rachel had been there to see that it was a woman, not a man, that created fire for the first time. See, Eddy? Women are pretty cool. Pretty cool, Ed. All right, the gang, Eddy, you seen them? Got it?
Yeah.
See them, Ed? They can make fire.
Yeah.
The gang BBQs Eddy. Stop talking over me. I'm talking. Okay, thank you. The gang BBQs T-Rex meat and comment that it tastes like a mild fish. Marco goes off on a bit about all of the firsts that they're accomplishing. First fire, first cooked food, the first person to appreciate a sunset. Cassie asks what they're going to do about the sun going down.
Sun's getting pretty low, big guy.
What are we going to do about this? It's like, get it back up there.
Somebody
Get on a hill, push
lift.
it back up. Yeah, come on. It's like, Cassie, that happens literally every day. Like, what do you mean, what are we going to do? She worries that a fire won't keep the predators away. Jake says that she's in charge. What should they do? Cassie wishes Rachel were here. Cassie can't turn off her terror, but she imagines that Rachel can, allowing her to say something badass that would make them all feel better. Jake suggests they sleep in shifts. Cassie and Axe will take first watch while Jake and Marco try to sleep. Cassie stargazes. Yeah, should we break this up? Should we break this up? This
Sure,
is
it's
long.
fine, it's fine.
Here, all right, I'll take Axe. Someone take Cassie.
Axe, she whispers. Is that a comet?
Axe replies, "Yes, it's very beautiful.
Even to you? You must have seen comets up in space.
They are most beautiful when they are closest to a star. The star, the sun, is what causes the tail to extend."
Oh, looks close.
"It may be," Axe said. "It is either very close or very large." Sorry. "It is either very close or very large. My people, a long time ago, of course, used to believe that comets were omens of bad things that would happen."
I was surprised. Really? Humans thought the same thing. Darkness fell. There was no moon in the sky. The starlight never touched the grass sea around us. The firelight was puny. Are you scared, Axe?
"Yes."
Me too. I felt the stick in my hand. I felt the fire at my back. Little, weak, defenseless Homo sapiens. I faced a night full of terrors.
I love that little moment. I like
And, yeah.
Cassie and Axe
It's
getting
great.
to.
It's very
start
good.
this together.
Oh, a comet in the late Cretaceous? No big. Not a problem.
Yeah.
But that
I know,
volcano.
Not concerned.
But that volcano, though.
I mean, my understanding
volcano.
is the volcanoes explode sometimes. So comets, they just zip right past.
They just sit
They're
right back.
stuck in the sky.
Yeah. I feel like we already know this, but if there's like a Cassie Axe ship name, is it Caxie? Is that real?
I feel like it would be Casamilli.
Oh, that's
You
better.
would either the fact that Cassie cares for animals, and I feel like always thinks of Axe a little bit in his Andalite form as an animal. That's either very weird or the whole thing. You know?
Hey, I'm not. Hey,
Stop.
I am not here to judge. I am talking about combinations are a possibility, and we need to be ready.
That's true.
With Caxie
Caxie or Casamilli.
Caximilli.
Axie.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
dude. They're gonna have to kill every dinosaur before they're allowed back. into the
I
present.
think so.
They're gonna have to do it one at a time.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what it is. They're gonna
In
have to go
hand-to-hand combat?
that they come back
Hand-to-hand.
and we're like,
Hand
we have a
to-
business.
Paw. They call them paws at one point, and that doesn't feel right. I feel like
More
foot.
like talons, I think.
Foot. Well, it depends on the dinosaur, right? Because like
Chicken's
sauropods
foot?
have like big elephant feet, and we don't say elephants have paws. We say they have feet.
I think we say raptors have talons.
Well, yeah, but we're not just talking about raptors.
I was really hoping, in like a platonic kind of way, not this Caxie stuff that Chris is pushing. The moment where it says Cassie felt the stick in her hand, I was hoping she was about to take Axe's hand.
Oh,
They would
yeah,
have
they
a
could
cute
hold
little-
hands. It'd
that
be
would have been
cute.
cute. And Axe saying he was scared, that was a nice little moment. I don't think
Yeah.
we get that from Axe a lot. Chris, why are you making
Yeah,
this face?
it's a big step in
I think
vulnerability
it's
for
something
him.
about that. I'm being a child right now, but you just like, I'm so sorry.
What?
No, I'm not gonna say it. It's
Okay.
just like you like threw me under the bus and then said something so funny, but I'm just gonna let it hang.
Okay.
This is one I'll leave it as an exercise for the listener to do.
I think I know what you're getting at, and I think you're gross.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but okay.
I can't believe Eddie said it. That's the
Eddie
thing.
didn't say it. You thought it.
No, Eddie said
No.
it. It was something Eddie said.
No.
Listeners, please email. What's our email address, Chris? And tell me what Chris was thinking.
Dirty thoughts at anidorks.com. No, that's not real. That won't work. Anyway. No.
Was it
No.
AnidorksPod at gmail.com? Is that what it is?
Anidorkspod.
That is what it is. Anidorkspod at gmail.com. We picked it because it doesn't rhyme. We kept coming up with emails that rhymed. And
We were
like,
going to do
"That's
Anidorks
embarrassing."
Palm and just include a Pomeranian in every email we send, but it got rough.
Yeah.
When you write in, you just have to put attention, Eddie's eyes only, because Chris runs our email, and Chris will
That's
see
true.
that subject and
That's
then forward
true.
the email to me without opening it.
I'll forward it to you and I won't read it.
Yeah.
I won't read it. Oh man. I just hope they can kill all those dinosaurs.
Because that's clearly what's going to happen. That's what needs to
I mean,
happen.
even if they do a dinosaur per page, it's not going to be enough.
But you know what? However long it takes, I think we're going to speed right through this book. So
I think
we're
so
proving
too.
everyone
We're
wrong.
off to a good start.
So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody said we couldn't do 13 chapters in an hour, and we didn't.
But we were close.
Well, yeah,
you were
pretty
close.
close.
Yeah.
In fairness,
We
we
did
spent
actually.
8 minutes, 52 seconds on the intro.
yeah.
And if you subtract
And
that,
we were-
it's still over an hour. But, like, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we end here, we're actually on time, right? We're 2
let's
minutes
end.
under.
Let's end.
Yeah, all right, let's end here.
Okay.
Done.
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say. Until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon!